News stripped down 30 minutes or less. Why? Because anything longer than that's probably just BS, anyways. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I've been struggling to just try and get this going here today. I, it wasn't like an internet thing, it was me trying to find my birthdays page because I do my birthdays page separately from what I normally write on. Oh, wow. You think it was a Monday? It's a Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. It is June 9th, 2026. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I am so disorganized right now. Let's do this right now. Okay, today's weather. Temperature, it's 23 degrees Celsius. That's 73.4 degrees Fahrenheit to you guys down in the States. Here in southwestern Manitoba, we are looking forward to overland flow flood. Excuse me? Overland flow flood? Okay, what does that mean? And then dangerous storms, possible tornadoes, large sized hail, possible golf ball to baseball sized hail. Hey, James. Oh, shout out James. And I'm really sorry. I was thinking about this the other day, you guys. I'm really sorry that I'm really bad at introducing people when it just in daily life. I don't say hi, I don't say bye. People will be like, "Where did he go?" And then who was that? That's just me. I don't introduce myself, and I shouldn't have to introduce myself. So let's start off with some birthdays today. Sorry, there's some like crazy weather happening outside. So besides the dogs barking. So today, June 9th, 2026. Today's birthdays in June 9th, 1672 to 1725. Peter the Great was 52 years old when he passed. He was like he was trying to modernize Russia, uh, and then kind of this is really interesting. He was trying to get guys to shave their beards. He wanted everyone to be clean shaven. Okay, this is in 1672 to 1725. Like, was he thinking about like gas warfare or something like that? Like, but Peter the Great, yeah, he was thinking ahead of the times. I don't know. It's crazy. And then today in 1781 to 1848, father of the railroad, George Stephenson. George Stephenson. He passed at 70 or 67. Oh my God. 6'7", 6'7", 6'7". He passed at the age of 67. And yeah, he's like what you know of today. We wouldn't have railroads and stuff set up the way we do today if it wasn't for George Stephenson, quite the father of railroads. And if you, George Stephenson, go back and check him out. Quite the entrepreneur for sure. And then today in 1891, Cole Porter, he passed at the age of 73 in 1964. He was a composer and lyricist known for the, oh my goodness, great Frank Sinatra song. I've got you under my skin. Yeah, yeah, he's the writer and composer of Frank Sinatra's I've Got You Under My Skin. Sorry, if I do like karaoke, that's my go to. Definitely one of it's either that or the Moon one with anything Frank Sinatra I can do. That's probably the only stuff I can do. Trying to rap, I don't rap. And then today in 1928, Jackie Mason passed in 2021 at the age of 93. Jackie Mason, also known as Yakos Mova, he was a comedian. You guys, if you know, you know. Great comedian, been in multiple movies. He was been on the Ed Sullivan Show multiple times. He was a really great comedian. Shout out to Jackie Mason because I really do take a lot of my comedy, what I think is comedy, at least, a lot from Jackie Mason, and I think he's definitely underestimated as a comic genius. Jackie Mason. Sorry, I just have to say it again. Jackie Mason. Just check him out. I think he's very underrated. And then, excuse me, I must have inhaled a wood tick. Uh, and then today, in 1961, Michael J. Fox was born. He is 65 years old today. Do I need to explain Michael J. Fox? Do I need to explain that he's also Canadian? Anyone? Anyone? I know there was a conversation going on earlier today about, oh, people I didn't realize that I thought they were American, but they turned out to be Canadian. And everyone, okay, there's like Jim Carrey and all these people. I didn't hear Michael J. Fox name, and it's his birthday today. So happy birthday, Michael J. Fox! And I really hope you, well, like, dude, you've been diagnosed with Parkinson's since 1991. Okay, like, dude, shout out to you. You've been fighting that Parkinson's, like, yeah, fight that Parkinson's, man. I've since I was since I was 16, I used to have nightmares of Parkinson's. I didn't realize what the nightmares were until I realized what Parkinson's was, but I used to have nightmares of me having Parkinson's. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if I get Parkinson's or not. Probably in that same boundaries. Let's cross my fingers. Let's cross all our fingers. And then today in 1963. Oh yeah, Johnny Depp's birthday. Johnny Depp. Shout out to Johnny Depp. Love him. Right off the hop, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, or Edward Scissorhands. Sorry, I don't want to do his like later films. I want to go back to like what Johnny Depp really did, like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Great, great film. If you haven't seen it, watch it, and if you don't understand it, watch it multiple times. I've probably watched that film 40, maybe 50 plus times, and I'm still seeing things that I didn't notice before in Fear and Loathing. Edward Scissorhands, the same thing. Who is that? Tim Burton. Great film, great film. And then happy birthday, Johnny Depp. Glad you had to get away from that crazy bitch. I'm really glad you had to get away from that crazy bitch. Yeah, that was not good. What a spectacle that was all about. Do your own thing. You got your own thing going on. Do it. And then an American Israeli born in 1981. What's her name? Natalie Portman. Natalie Portman. I would like to say like what movies she's been in, blah blah blah, but I don't know. This like whole Israel American thing is like 6'7", 6'7". I don't know. And now like America's like, nah, don't deal with that nonsense. Okay, so now let's get into the news. Okay, so let's start off here in Canada. Okay, so Canada's doing some like weird stuff here with this, icebreaker nonsense. There's a lot of money getting dumped into the Arctic defense scenario that we're doing here in Canada. And this is due to the fact that the United States is like saying, hey, we've been like looking after your Arctic defense this whole time. You know what? You need to start adding up to this bill. So now that Canada is starting to step up here, there's kind of a little influx here between Finland, United States, and Canada when it comes to icebreaker technology and shipbuilding. Okay, so yes, we have ships being built throughout the world right now. Specifically in Canada, Vancouver, we have British Columbia's Seaspan building a shipbreaker right now as part of the Arctic defense scenario. But it's not just defense. Okay, this is part of opening up our Arctic. There's a lot of talk right now, and I'm going to get into this in a minute here about Churchill. It's a strategy going through the Hudson Bay. But the thing is, we have to have an open gate. If it's frozen half the time of the year, then what good is that as a strategic move to getting product in and out of Canada, right? We need to have some type of icebreaker situation happening. But there is a deal between Finland, the United States, and Canada right now on working on some of these icebreakers. So, is this going to be a conflict of interest? Yes. Okay. Think about this. Okay. In the United States, when it comes to space travel, yes, we have Canada, other countries involved. Why aren't we hearing about the Russian cosmonauts? And I can call them cosmonauts because they're in space. Why aren't we talking about the Russian cosmonauts that are sharing the shared space interest? Like, okay, there's Russian cosmonauts up there right now. Don't we have sanctions against these countries? Why isn't space exploration sanctioned then? Anyone? Anyone? We're still allowed. Oh, yeah, because we can allow India to use Russian rockets to get us to space if we can't get there. Oh, sorry, the United States can't get there. So we still need Russia to be able to support the Russian or the space program. Anyone? Bueller? 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 Oh yeah, Bueller's not here. But do you guys hear what I'm saying? Like, we're still, with all the sanctions and all the hate against Russia, the United States is still allowing Russia to be able to be a part of this space technology or space travel, space technology, anything space related. They're still allowed to be a part of this. Should we not just sanction them on that? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? Is Bueller here? I think I just went deaf in this year. But anyways, here, let's switch topics here. I got 16 minutes left. Well, a little bit longer than that. Let's get into some real news then before I get into real topics. Okay, so ASON, or sorry, Acon, one of the Canada's leading construction infrastructure companies, has been that's been around since 1877. Part of the CN Tower. Okay, CN Tower. You guys know the CN Tower in Toronto? Yes, I said Toronto. Did Bueller? Can I get a spell check on that? Bueller? Bueller? Toronto? Is it Toronto or is it Tirana? Because I'm pretty sure it's Toronto. Is it Toronto? And is it Quebec or is it Quebec? Because I'm pretty sure it's Quebec, not Quebec. So I'm going to call Tirana. Okay, so just saying. Hey, what's up, unknown? Welcome to Canada News. Sorry, there's a little bit of international news. You're just going to have to stick around for the nonsense here. So we have this issue right now with Russian cosmonauts coming into our space travel, okay? And why haven't we sanctioned them with that? Anyone? Okay. Off to the next topic, okay? Oh, sorry, I was already in ASEAN or ACON. So yeah, ACON is been around since 1877, and they built the CN Tower. The CN Tower is in Toronto. Sorry, now we're back to topic. Okay, so the CN Tower is built in Toronto. Okay, and this is part of the CN Rail. The CN Rail built multiple hotels and multiple different like landmarks, so the CN Rail could use it as a tourist zone. Okay, so you have the Chateau Frontenac in Quebec City. You have the CN Tower in Tirana. Yes, Tirana. Okay, so like think all the way you go across Canada, there's going to be these landmarks that the CN Rail put money into. So, like, and now Akon is looking into putting money into Churchill, Manitoba. Yes, Akon has lost a lot of money in the last quarter, last 3 quarters, the last year. Oh my God, Akon's lost a lot of money lately. And then for them to sign a deal right now, but the deal they've signed right now, you have to realize this, is with the Aboriginals, the First Nations people, and the communities that are very restricted from like roads, aircraft. Like, if they're willing to strike this deal, Akon, with this native community, this First Nations communities, and strike a deal, this could be good for that company. But the thing is, if it lingers on and there's a lot of like de facto issues that are going to come up, this could break this company. This could absolutely break this company. So Akon, I don't know if you guys are investing right now. Akon, their stocks are super low, but they could be super worth it. Like, this could be a SpaceX worthwhile company to be getting into, and it's spelled AECON. Look into this company. ACON. AECON. Look into this company. Yes, the stocks are cheap right now, but think about Canada. Okay, Manitoba, right here. This is all the points. Where does all those points reach you? Right here in Manitoba. And then where else is there to go? Up to Churchill. Oh, sorry, I should probably be doing this. Up to Churchill. Okay, so as long as these First Nations are okay with the deals that are being made right now, Manitoba could be the next capital of Canada. Like, just think, Manitoba was supposed to be the first capital of Canada due to the fact that we're a four structure. Okay, so we have perfect point to the United States. We have perfect point up to the Hudson Bay. We have a four structure tier. Manitoba was supposed to be the capital of Canada. This is why they put all this infrastructure into Canada. And then the First World War hit, and then stuff went bad. Sorry, I'm trying to mind my own language and stuff right now, but oh man, I didn't want to talk about this. This is just like old news I'm talking about right now. Okay, so Germany and France have been working on this new jet. They're working on this new generation aircraft. They're working with like Rome, Italy. They tried doing a deal with Australia. They tried doing all these deals with other countries, and it just didn't work out. So that's it. Now it's done. And I said this probably like a month ago. See this deal being done. So this aircraft deal, if anyone's investing into this between France and Germany, pull your money out. Well, it's probably too little too late now. But think of the products that Germany and France had to put towards this new jet aircraft, like radar technology, all this new data stuff. Like, it's insane. Why don't they just take that stuff that they've learned from what they're doing now and then sell it to somebody like, say, Saab or Boeing? That is worth billions of dollars. Just the technology that they had that they were going to put in that. But the problem is, Germany and France are like, you know what? We kind of want to just keep this to ourselves because we don't want anyone else having anything to do with this. And then we want to get paid. So this is what it comes down to, is like, there's a good technology and good warfare technology out there that they were going to put into this aircraft that they aren't willing to share with the rest of the world. And this is a big, big issue. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're just flying. 19 minutes, 30 minutes or less. Hit the like, subscribe. I'm here Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. News strip down. That place right there. And yeah, I still got more news here. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to scram this all into 30 minutes. And then cheers for the news rundown. I'm off to sleep. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, go sleep, man. That's all good. Oh, so yeah, that was a lot of Canadian news. Let's head over to like some UK news and stuff that's happening in Europe, okay? I know I've been like very Canada lately. I'm very sorry about this, you guys, but like I like to talk about world topics, and here we go, Tuesday. And I'm sorry I wasn't around yesterday for Monday's news. Sorry, I had banking in I had to deal with my bank. There was something else I had to deal with that I don't want to talk to you guys about because I don't want to wreck what I'm doing with that, and just sometimes, if you're going to keep quiet, just keep quiet. But here, let's get into some European news. Okay, European news. Okay, so the European government right now has approved 21 major infrastructure projects. Uh, One of them is an offshore windmill project. And I've talked about this many a times before. Okay, yeah, you can spend all the money you want on this offshore windmill projects. If you don't have a sustainable power backup to store that energy, you're still going to have to rely on natural gas or some form, coal, nuclear, blah, blah, blah. It's all fine and dandy. Here, let's build all the windmills in the world. Okay, how are you going to store that energy? And this is the issue. Ireland right now is the only country in that part of the fucking world right now that is looking into actually storing power. Like, oh my god. My head, like, think about that. Storing power. Oh, here, let's build batteries so we could store the power so we don't have to use natural gas, and then we don't have to use coal. Welcome to Europe. This is Europe right now. They're putting all this infrastructure into windmills and solar power. All of that is all fine and dandy until you have to store it. And if they can't store it and save it, then you have to go back to like some type of other fossil fuel, natural gas, coal, blah, blah, blah. Just doesn't make sense. Oh, you're a Jesuit, eh? Oh, I know many a Jesuits. I knew a true Jesuit, and he could write biblical. This is how big he could write. I don't know how he could write that because he couldn't see this far in front of his face. I don't know how he could write so small. But thanks for headlining that. Oh, it's all good. Two for I was late already. I was late already. Oh, okay. So I'm done talking about the UK. I said I was gonna do international news. Australia. Let's talk about Australia and what's happening here right now. So Australia just invested $500 billion into a a natural gas pipeline, running from one country or one side of their country to the other side. The only issue that Australia is having right now is finding good workers, qualified workers. Well, I'm sorry, like when it comes to like pipeline work and gas fitting and natural gas pipelines and all that other stuff, like I'm I'm not gonna like lie here, but with the guidelines that Australia has when it comes to drug enforcement, this is why you're having problems finding people to work on these gas lines. Because these guys that do oil drilling, gas fitting and stuff, these guys run 24 hours a day. And if you don't know what that means there's an obvious drug consumption. Depending on the drugs, though. Most of the guys are like on cocaine because you're clear for like, a day or two, and you're good for a piss test as long as you follow the guidelines. But this could be a big issue with Australia finding good workers, whether they're on drugs or not. Trust me, they're still good workers. Trust me, I've seen guys who work in the gas fitting industry where they're alcoholics and they've showed up to work and then they've blown over twice the legal limit. They will let them wait to sober up just so they can get back to work. Why? Because those are some of the best guys that they have. And it is what it is. I'm sorry, but Australia, even to bring a bottle of ephedrine hydrochloride, you could get sent to jail and you could get a 3 to 5 year sentence. Like, just for instance, what was that kid's name? Hold on a second. I have it here. I know I wrote down this kid's name. Yeah, the 21-year-old from Vancouver was detained for his Adderall. Adderall. Okay, Adderall is used for attention deficit disorder, ADD. Okay, so he was heading to Georgia, and not Georgia, United States, Georgia. Georgia is bordered on the bank of the Red Sea. This is in the like middle Europe, okay? Like, hey, think about this. Middle Europe. He was detained for having Adderall on him, and because he was traveling through through the countries, he had to have his prescriptions filled here in Canada. So, yes, he had an abundance. So, he probably had like 3 months worth of Adderall on him, which, if you traveled to another country, that is considered illegal trafficking and could be considered mass trafficking due to the fact that these countries consider this methamphetamine. I'm sorry, but you guys can check this guy's name out. Oh, I didn't write his name down. But whatever. If you're Canadian, you know. But yeah, 21-year-old. Don't travel to countries that have drug bans. Like I said, like just simple cold medication that you carry with you that you think is like, well, it's just simple. And even 4 or 5 of those pills. And those pills could be like this big. Don't even underestimate just because of the size of the pills. Because you go to another country, it could come back on you. And you could be detained, and then you're going to have to deal with the consulate. You're going to have to deal with a legal basis, and then legal, the world's smallest violin. Oh, but just, you guys, if you're going to travel to countries, get your medications from the countries and make sure you have the proper documentation to be able to go to the pharmacies in those countries and have the proper documentation to be able to travel from country to country, because you don't know what you think is legal, like marijuana. You think like, oh yeah, marijuana is legal in Canada. We can just go to the United. Or we from if we're going from the United States as a Floridian, of somebody from Florida, up to Canada and be like, oh yeah, that's legal because marijuana is legal. We can just put it in our car. That's not how it works. You're still internationally trafficking drugs. Like, do your laws. There was a YouTuber who thought he just could come up to Canada, and he had uh, legal obligations, legal obligations where he still had court dates that he was obligated to go to. Yes, he hadn't been charged, but once you get to the Canadian border, good luck, Chuck. If you're an American and you have any priors, get them absolved before you come to Canada. And it's not hard to absolve them. Yes, it takes time. And for some people to say, oh, it's so hard, it's so hard. No, it takes time. And if you think time is hard, then you know what? Fuck off. Like, you're not worth coming to Canada in the first place if you think that's hard. Just follow the proper procedures and you can get in here totally clean. I can go to the United States as well as long as I follow the proper procedures. But people just come up here like, yeah, it doesn't work like that. And you think that works like us going to the United States? Me having an impaired, do you think I can go to the States? No, I have to have that absolved. But it takes time. It takes time. Oh, here we go. You guys want to have a banger of you guys investing into money and stuff? You guys playing the stock market? Here we go. So, Andreas, nuclear. Andreas, 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 Andreas. Do I need to say this anymore? You guys look into this Andreas, okay? Antares, nuclear, has just finally tested a non hard water nuclear reactor. Why? I don't hear anybody screaming right now. Hello? This non hard water nuclear, this is a small nuclear reactor, okay? This means that they can power other facilities. They already have contracts right now for the US military for powering their own little bases without having to pay other foreign countries for their power supply. And you see why all these data centers right now aren't too worried about powering themselves? Now think about this. Think about this. You see them using diesel generators, blah blah blah. Like they're using like all this other infrastructure. Well, with this new Ceres, yeah, they're planning on putting out production of these nuclear reactors by 2028. 2 years. 2 years. So this whole data center thing is gonna completely change. So you guys, if you want to look into some investments, Andreas, AntaresNuclear. Look into this company because if you guys want to make money, if these data centers are gonna make money, who's gonna power them? Right there, Andreas. And they're planning on putting these out by the next 2 years. These new non-hard water liquid reactors. And you don't realize this is the reactors they're building compared to the reactors this big. Okay. So nuclear power, I'd start looking into mining companies right now if you guys are into radium, lithium. I'd be looking into a lot of these companies right now that are related to nuclear power. If you guys want to make money right now, don't worry about SpaceX. Oh, and then speaking of SpaceX, yeah, here's another thing. Okay, so the other day, oh, this is funny. So the Canadian, hold on a second. So the Ontario government, the teachers union in Ontario invested into SpaceX in 2019 and they made a F load of money. An F load of money. Now it's the time to pull out. I'm sorry. Yeah, the teachers, yeah, you made that money. Now the teachers union in Ontario, now that they made that money from SpaceX, pull that money out. Trust me, just one bad act. Look at what just happened with look at what happened. They just totally, well, not SpaceX, but what's his name? Wow, I'm completely drawing a blank right now. Amazon, what's his name? But anyways, he just had a rocket explode. So to invest money into SpaceX right now, just think one rocket explode in your stock. If you're a small investor, you're going to lose everything. You have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest into this. Yes. And now the Ontario government, when it comes to their teachers union and their benefits and their retirement fund, yes, pull their money out. Pull it out. This is the only thing that they can do right now. Oh man. Oh, and then speaking of Canada news, so the Canadian foreign minister is heading over to Bahrain, the United Kingdom, and then over to France. And this is kind of interesting. You really have to really think about this. Uh, Canada is sending a foreign minister right now before the Kuzma deal. Okay, Kuzma deal is happening on July 1st. Okay, now think about this. So now we're having deals with Bahrain, the UK, and France right now. We're already getting deals made before we have this deal with the United States and the Kuzma deal. Canada right now, the way I see it right now, we already have deals made out with Mexico. The only issue we have with Mexico is how we're going to get product without going through the United States. That's kind of an issue. We don't have enough shipping containers or ships that are willing to be able to go from point A to point B without directly cutting through the United States. Yes, it could be more feasible. I do understand this, but let's see what happens here in the next couple days. We still have this month, like just beginning. This is the first quarter of the month before Kuzma right now, and with Canada going to Ram and UK and France and talking about some deals. I know the UK and France already made previous deals with the United States, and they were thinking like they got egg on their face. I'm sorry, they got egg on their face. So we'll see what happened. And this is retracted. Okay, why can I not retract this? What the hell's going on here? Okay, well I can't not show that for some reason, which is really weird. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the news today, you guys. Yeah, but this whole Canada, France, and Bahrain, UK deal right now, this is, I think the US should be paying attention right now to what Canada is doing between Bahrain, the UK, and France right now because we might be undercutting some deals here or making some. And like I just talked, was it Germany and France? We're just talking about this aircraft deal that fell through. Well, maybe we could make a deal with France on using some of the technology they had into some aircraft that we are producing and producing with like Saab. Like, there's a whole thing that we could be doing here. Well, that's the thing, dude. Mispronouncing names, like, and then what you're already talking about. I don't want to get into that, but when it comes to mispronouncing names, I've had my, I've never been me as a person. I've always been listed as somebody else's. Like I'm a slave. I've been a slave my whole life before until like January of this year. I've always been somebody else's property. Does that make any sense? And now where I am, I'm not anybody's property, and I'm not going to stand for shit like that anymore. And you should do the same thing. Don't stand for nonsense. Like, that's what it's all about. Like, the aircraft deals. Okay, Greg, yeah, you do have a point with that, but the aircraft deals, I'm trying to figure out where, well, no, I'm trying to understand where your point is coming from. You're talking about aircraft deals. Um, well, those aircraft deals are done, and by the sounds of it, NATO has a good shared interest here in Canada on training other pilots from other countries, including Brazil, Mexico, Finland, Germany, Switzerland. Oh my goodness. I'm just drawing a blank. There's too many names running through my head right now. But like even still, Acer, I was talking about them. They were part of the CN Tower. They were still part of the CN Tower, but the deal that they had with, sorry, the deal that they had with, well, that didn't work very good. Here, let's do it this way. Okay, so you're talking about First Nations. I already talked about that when it came to the Churchill Hudson Bay export area. The agreement they had with Acer is to talk to the Native community, the First Nations communities. And there was what, 29, and then was it 11? Don't make me go back and reread what I had to fucking read. But this is an agreement already with the First Nations, and they did talk to the First Nations in the first place. They allowed the First Nations to let them know what they were doing first. When it comes to the separatists in Alberta, the separatists didn't ask the First Nations people, and this is what pissed off the First Nations people. And this, I hope you understand this. At least where these companies right now, and don't sit there and point the finger at Wob Canoe and say he's a go-getter. No, he's not a go-getter. Trust me. I don't like this guy as much as I can throw him either. But he is asking the First Nations people, hey, are you willing to talk with these big corporations? What? What? Yeah, I got it. Yeah. Oh, must be a separatist in here. Uh, is anyone in here who has a wrench? Check this out for me. You know what? I almost guarantee you don't even have a fucking channel in the first place. So, and you know what? You can say whatever you want. You're still in the chat. So, any chat you say right now is just helping me. Now think about that, you stupid fucking goof. Like you're an idiot. You think you're getting your point across, and meanwhile you're just part of the fucking problem, and you're just helping me by putting more chat in there. So thank you for the hate chat, because I'll take that all day. It is in Canadian legislation. It is to allow the First Nations people to have a voice before any deal is done. It's in the legislation. Like even Wob Canoe right now. This is what I'm saying. He asked the people before that, hey, we we have a proposed project, blah blah blah. The separatists, do you think that they said, hey, here, let's separate from the rest of Canada? Here, did they think about once asking the native people about this? Not once. Not once. And then everyone's like, oh, I think the natives are down for this. No, the natives want to get rid of us, the white man. They want us all gone. Hence, First Nations. Like, get that through your head. They want us all gone. They want us all to become Americans, and then Canada would become First Nations. It wouldn't be Canada anymore. It would be First Nations. Like, think about this. And I'm so for First Nations. I've watched the way the government fucks with these people, and it fucks with me. It even fucks with, like, the white man. But the way that they treat the Aboriginal people around here in Manitoba, Saskatchewan, is not the same way that they treat the people throughout Canada. Well, that's exactly what I'm saying, Greg. They want us all gone. But the thing is, you have to be able to talk to them and come to an agreement. If you leave them, if you make an agreement without talking to them first, how would that make you feel? That's like, think about three of your friends right now are talking shit behind your back. And then how would that make you feel? And then what Wob Canoe is doing is he's like, okay, let me go talk to these people and then let them know, here, this is the proposed idea. Are you down for this? It's either a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Okay, what's in it for us? Okay, then here, let me go back to the table and we'll see what's in it for us. And then Wob Canoe, yeah, what's in it for us? Yeah, Wob Canoe's gonna get a cut. Everyone's gonna get a cut, especially when it comes to politicians. That's just the way it is. So, welcome to the news. Like, if you guys don't realize this already, then you're just feeding on the nonsense and not realizing how the world actually works. Because there's a whole nother world that happens below us when it comes to politics. And trust me, here in Canada, it's the First Nations that become a major issue. And, oh, well, sorry, I shouldn't say an issue, a major contribution to the part of how we should discuss these problems. Oh. Okay, Greg. I'm gonna disagree to. I'm gonna agree to disagree on some of the things that you have to say with, and I'm just gonna do that as a political view. And I'm sorry, like, yeah, I do agree with some of the things that you have, but that's politics, man. That's total politics. I just see the world a, a little bit differently than you do, but I do agree with some of the things that you have to say, Greg. Totally, 100%. But this is politics. There's a lot of things that need to be done better that I see that could be done well. And then as a white man, even me as a white man, I'm sorry, like, what does this white man have to say about this country? And what does he have to say about I've been around it. I've watched child family services take kids away from their children or their kids away from their parents. And then it's a mess. It's just an absolute fucked up mess. And yes, I agree that yes, there needs to be changes. But the way we need to go about making these changes has to be done properly and really need to be thought about. Because if we just start there and coming up with answers, then we're not going to get anywhere. Like, seriously, this is like psychology at its best. Okay, somebody's an alcoholic. Okay, why are you an alcoholic? Oh, because I had bad parents. Okay, so how about you separate yourself from your parents? Well, I can't do that because of my God tells me I thou shalt love thy parents. Well, yeah, but yeah, you can still love your parents, but you can still separate yourself from parents. And then how is your life now that you aren't under some form of control? Now think about this, the native population. How do they feel now that they aren't under some form of control? Like, am I talking to nobody here? Because, like, sometimes, like, I'm sitting here talking, I feel like nobody understands what the fuck I'm talking about. And this is what I'm talking about. You need to separate yourself from things. And then, even still, when it comes to the First Nations here in Canada, start pointing the fingers at your tribe. Start pointing the fingers at your fucking chiefs. Because these chiefs, I know they're trying to sucker money from you. Like, I have a friend right now. He was supposed to get like $70,000 from the federal government, and the chief's like, "Oh, I'll give you 50." Okay, so out of the 16 of us that are gonna get the 70 grand, you're gonna take a percentage from us, from the 16 of us, which is gonna make you more wealthy, and you're not gonna actually do anything for the reserve or our fresh water or our hunting land or to fight lawyers or to fight the federal government. What it comes down to is how the chiefs run the territories. And I've seen a lot of changes lately. And I told my buddy, why don't you become a chief? Because you see what's happening. He's like, well, I'd never get the vote. Yeah. Well, the way things are right now, you could have the opportunity right now to put your name on the ballot to make a change. But the thing is, uh, he has his own vices. And yes, he would be a good leader, but he would take advantage of the situation if it was put in front of him. Like like me, if you gave me $100,000, I wouldn't go spend it the next day. I wouldn't. What does that say? Let's see. Oh. Oh. But you have to realize people are being put in that situation. That's the problem. And like even depression, when it comes to depression and mental health, there are a lot of opportunities out there for people to get help. They just don't want to stick with it. It's the human thing, like, oh, I don't need help. Whether you put the food in front of the face, no one's going to take it. They think they're better than that. And you know what? You have to realize that, you know what? You aren't better than that. And this is what bothers me about people who are depressed and then have to be angry about everyone else around their lives. Like, there's certain people around me that are just constantly negative. It's like, okay, just shut the fuck up. Think about the things that you're being negative about. Like, just think about that. It's like, oh, my dog shit on the carpet. Wow, and this is what ruined your day. Think about that person right now who's struggling to find $2, so they can go to Tim Hortons and get a fucking bagel so they can fill their stomach with something. You know, people people have no feelings anymore. This is a big, big issue that needs to be brought up. Is people think like Winnipeg saying that the AIDS epidemic is brought on by drug abuse and the homeless. Okay, don't point and make victims. You're making victims right now, and now you're making a demographic of the people out there right now, who are already struggling, and not necessarily are all homeless people drug addicts or HIV. You know, uh, I'm okay. I really want to talk about where I'm coming from, and I might have to do this separately. I'll do another live here at 10 o'clock, actually. I don't know if I want to talk about this. Accountability, self reflection. Yeah, but that's not what I'm doing. Um, I'm the dummy. I'm the dummy at the end of the day. I'm the dummy. Everyone reflects their problems on me, and then people think, or no, I think that I have problems. And meanwhile, I am the only actual grounded person in the bunch out of all the psychopaths and all the retards out there. So what do? Is I separate myself from all the psychopaths and retards out there. And not just from like 1 or 2 days. I mean, separate yourself from them permanently. Get rid of those people. And then really think about where you come from as a person. Like, this is a big issue. Don't worry about people tell if somebody tells you you need medication, don't get medication. There's proper resources for you to go out there and talk to people. For instance, this I'll tell you, and this is it. If you guys have problems, mental health issues, say you're an alcoholic. There's better resources if you go and say you're an alcoholic, and then you can talk to somebody about the issues that you have in your life that made you become an alcoholic. Then you can start to realize what's happened in your life. But whether you're an alcoholic or not, just lie to these people just so you can be able to access that help. Does that make any sense? So uh, Alcoholics Anonymous, blah blah blah. If you don't have go to an AA meeting once. You don't have to stay there, blah blah blah, and then ask, does anybody know any therapists that deal with this type of blah blah blah, and get that number. Try and get in with these therapists, and then just talk to them. And if they say you're an alcoholic, say you're an alcoholic, blah blah blah. But this is your way in to getting therapy without actually sitting there waiting years and years and years. Say you're an alcoholic. You will get into therapy a lot quicker here in Canada. I'm not joking. So, just saying. Just say you're an alcoholic. If you need proper therapy and you just need somebody to talk to, this is the way to go. Greg, you have no idea like what I have been going like okay, no, what I have read. Well, just me in life. Yeah, totally. Totally. Notice I don't get angry too much. You should see me in daily life now. Since January of this year to where I am right now, I am not the same person. Go back and watch some of my old videos. Go back and watch some of my old videos. Tell me I'm the same person. No, because I realized something is wrong in my life. And I made a change of that. But the thing is, I needed somebody else to be able to put that infirmament, that dome over my head and saying, yeah, this, this is what you need to do. It's like, yeah, it's going to be hard. It's like, yeah, but you need to do it. Okay. And holy fuck, just doing that one thing was probably the best thing in my life. And Yeah, it was fucking hard as fuck. It fucking broke my heart. Fucking like literally took a couple steps out of my fucking lungs. But you have to do it. And there's a little piece of advice for you guys. If you're in Canada, say you're an alcoholic, go to AFM, go to Alcoholics Anonymous, blah blah. Ask for a therapist. This is the easiest way, because if you ask for a therapist normally in Canada, you're never going to get one that's worthwhile. You want to deal with a real therapist, deal with an AFM therapist. Those are, because they hear a lot of shit. They're dealing with drug addiction, they're dealing with alcoholism, blah, blah, blah. For them to listen to your problems is nothing like what they have to deal with on a normal basis. So this could be a good thing, you guys. Hey, Buck. Holy fuck, Buck. Sorry, dude. You still here? How's Sterling doing? Sorry, I haven't talked to Sterling in a while. And I still won't talk to Sterling in a while. I'll still talk to you. Actually, here, just shut the fuck up. Let's just leave Sterling out of this in the first place. I don't want to talk about it. Oh, man. What a day, though. I've heard addiction is referred to a backhanded blessing, blah, blah, many people. But that's not what I'm saying. If you're asking for mental help, whether you have an addiction or not, say you have an addiction in Canada, if you want proper mental health. That's what I'm saying. If you guys want a key access to getting proper mental health, say you're an alcoholic, say you're a drug addict, tell them you have a meth problem. But I've only done meth like twice, and that was in one day. Oh man. Well, cheers for that, Buck. Yeah, I'm waiting for that day I have to look after my dad, and that's why I'm out here looking after my own mental health. Waiting for that day until I have to fucking go babysit him. So, but it is what it is. DJ. Oh, what's up, dude? Man, DJ. I haven't seen you in a while. I'm trying to remember. Yeah. Yeah, been a while, DJ. I meant to give you one of those a while ago, but I totally forgot. Um, but yeah, yeah. You guys, when it comes to mental health and stuff, don't sit there and like force it on. Don't dwell your problems on other people. You have to really sit down and break down your issues and figure it out for yourself. Whether it's family issues or what. I know family issues are probably the worst thing to have to deal with. Like, okay, the Bible says, "Thou shalt love thy parents." Oh, that's a hard one. How do you deal with that? Um, it doesn't say anything about ignoring your parents. You can still love your parents. It doesn't say anything about ignoring them, right? Like, okay, I don't have to deal with their shit, and I don't have to hear their shit anymore. I'm still waiting for that day where my dad finds out my phone number and is like, hey, but I don't think he's smart enough to do that. But the only thing I'm worried about right now is the people I give my phone number to. You know, uh, my phone rings like once a month, literally once a month. My phone doesn't ever ring. And it's so funny. When it does ring, I get all fucking giddy excited, like, well, my phone's ringing. It's like, oh, yeah, it was a spam call. This is a spam call. It's like, wow, somebody actually wanted to call me. But I'm fine where I am right now. I'm totally happy. But to these people who are like depressed and stuff out there, start making steps to make yourself better. Because if you're just going to sit there and just be angry and depressed all the time, then you're not doing anything. If you keep doing the same thing 3 times, that's insanity. That's Albert Einstein's theory at its best. To do the same thing over and over again is insanity. Normally, I let things get to about the second time. I'll try things 2 times. And something in my skull, in my brain, tells me, do not do it a third time. Okay, don't do it a third time. But dealing with my parents, yeah, I've had to deal with that uh, thousands of times, thousands of times, and then finally I'm just realizing that yeah, that's the toxicity in my life. So yeah, you don't need drugs or alcohol to make your life better. You just need to figure out what is making your life toxic in life. Not like anyone else is gonna understand what the fuck I'm talking about. It's completely counterintuitive, but the best way to overcome resentment or bitterness is to take personally accountable for circumstances in your. That would be about it. You know what? See this, Greg. What you said there. To take accountability. This is like straight out of the AA playbook. If you went to an AA meeting, take accountability for the issues you've done. And so, again, let me rephrase this: regrets. What do you regret? I don't regret anything. Yeah, totally. This is an agree to disagree, Greg. I know that's how you feel, blah blah blah. And I totally understand that. I totally understand that. But yeah, we'll agree to disagree. We'll just call this politics. We'll just, and that's the thing. We all, and that's what makes us human. That's another thing. We all have our individual, and then you weren't raised the way I was. And then I don't know how you were raised either. You know, like I don't know how your mom was. I don't know how your dad was. I don't know how many siblings you had. So I don't know. So everybody is individually unique. Unique. And then all I can say is from my uniqueness is that's what I have to say. Some people can understand it, some people won't understand it, but you know, for that 1% that do understand, that's my demographic is that 1% that realize that hey, yeah, perfect. I got it. I regret that. I'm not sure what part you do. Oh, I regret speech problems. Don't worry about speech. I used to deal with Asians, a lot of Asians, um, Ukrainians, Hutterites, Amish, and it's funny is when they would talk to me, I could always hear clear as day what they were telling me, and then yet you have somebody else come into that situation, like like I've told this story probably 4 or 5 times already, but I used to have Chinese people call me all the time, be like, cable guy, cable guy, cable guy. Okay, so and so. I'm not gonna say his name. So and so. I'll be right there. 15 minutes. Okay, okay, okay. I get there and full Chinese versus a cable guy. You know, it's like he wants the cable hooked up from this TV into the bedroom as well. And then I just understand what he wants done, whether there's a language barrier or not. And when it comes to people with language barriers, I'm pretty good at understanding. Uh, I'm almost wondering if I could find a job where I just tell you the truth. Arms dealer. I'm good with languages. I understand how people work, but you know, like what could be good for me right now? Youngest of seven. Oh, Yeah, you're one of those middle kids. Yeah, me too, Greg. I'm right in the middle. It really fucking sucks being in the middle. I didn't have a choice though, so that's I just have to learn to work around those situations. And then communication barriers. I still can't talk to my two sisters. I can talk to my one brother, but the thing is, you have to find a way to be able to communicate with these people. And I'm talking about family too. But it's not going to happen overnight. Some of the best ways you can do this is to be able to talk to the family that you can talk to and have them, hey, say that I was talking to so and so the other day, and just put that little worm in their ear. Like, he's not as bad as what he was perceived to be. He's just like us. It's just he was put in a bad situation, and you should give him a piece of his pie. Like, it's as easy as that. But there's a lot of people that have been harmed mentally, verbally, and emotionally. That is they said that's it. I don't want to take anymore, and I understand that totally. And if they don't want to even open a door anymore, and that door is permanently locked, that's fine. That's fine. I'm totally fine with that. The people I am able to talk to in my life, I'm very thankful that they do realize where I come from as a human and as a person, and realize, like, wow, you know what? This is probably one of the best people that I could have in my life. And same with all those other people. I think of the same thing as them. These are some of the best people I can have in my life. And whether it's a small number, it really take that into heart. Take the small number of people that you have that you can trust and have like an emotional connection to. What even still, like, I'm gonna say Gary, whether he's already on his way out. But Gary, yes, he has his own political views, but yet this guy, if I called him right now, he'd be there to fucking come and pick me up. You know, like, you need to go to the hospital. You're having a heart attack. Okay, I'm coming to grab you. Fuck calling an ambulance. I'm gonna come grab you right now. These are the people that I keep close to me. And you guys, please take this into consideration. Whether it's family or not, or just negative people, separate yourself from these people. This is probably one of the best things that I've had to do in my life. And it was really hard. And I had to go through therapy just to make sure that this was kosher. And yeah, look at me. Like, look, I got that sparkle back in my eyes. I'm happy again. I'm not the same crazy fucking person. I coming from like all these different concepts, my dad and all these other family members, blah, 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 like influencing how to control me. And now finally, I'm starting to realize after 42 years that I'm a different person than all of those people. It's like Robin Williams. Think about Robin Williams. He's trying to be somebody else all the time. And yeah, it's because of his influences that he had through his childhood and through his history. He didn't know who he was. He was always playing a character, not Leslie Nielsen. The Pink Panther was a good character for that. Uh, Doug, Doug, does your dog bite? No, my dog doesn't bite. I thought you said, I thought you said your dog doesn't bite. That's not my dog. Like, oh, but this is it. This is it. We need it. We don't need medication to be doing and fixing these things. Oh, it's not about dignity. No, I'm not even saying that either. Dignity. I don't want any dignity. Imagine all this bad shit I've done. Tell you the truth, I'm still waiting for the Chinese mafia to come knocking on my door. Oh, I go from the HA to the Chinese mafia. Wow, that was a good fucking choice. Yeah. But tell you the truth, I don't even think the Chinese mafia would come after me right now. But it is what it is. And then somebody told me about, hey, I should put not Waze, international banking account on here. Thanks, DJ. There's a lot of things that, but to sit there and compare my life and other people's life, I'm just trying to explain, like, you have to make decisions yourself. Like word of thumb. You only learn something until you do it wrong. Okay. Well, did your parents do that wrong for you? Did your uncle do that wrong for you? Did your sister do that wrong for you? Now, compartmentalize that. Like, really think about that. Break that down. Now, divide all those things up. It gets a little complicated, but take some time, you guys, and realize, like, don't be depressed. Be thankful for the things that you do have, because there's a lot of things out here right now. Like, I could be a lot really pissed off about, but I'm not. I could be angry about a lot of things right now. I've just come to a point right now where, what's the point of being angry? There really is no point of being angry at all. Yeah, there's people that get angry at me, and I just laugh at them. Like, okay, okay, be angry, be hateful towards me. That's fine. I'll be that person if you want me to, but I know I'm not that person, or I wouldn't be right here doing a live. I wouldn't have internet access. I wouldn't be here to talk to you guys. I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. I wouldn't be sitting here writing down all this fucking news shit I do for you guys, like, on a daily basis. I wouldn't have that. And I'm thankful for that. And I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing. Like, I'm on social services, which means I get $250 a month to survive on. I could ask you guys for money, but I don't. Why? Because I'm fucking happy where I am. And as soon as I ask you guys for money, it's going to become a problem and it's going to create hatred. People are going to sit there and look at me like, oh, he's asking for money, blah, blah, blah. Let's hate on him. Okay, I'm going to sit here. I'll be broke. Keep doing my news Monday to Friday, 4 to 4:30 p.m. Central Time. And I'm happy doing this. It's all I want to do. It's fine. And if anybody else thinks that I'm being selfish doing this, at least I'm doing something that's consistent instead of this other YouTube nonsense bullshit. I'm tired of listening. Yeah, I'll listen to a lot of other people's live streams and stuff like that, but it's when it comes down to people's complaining and woe is me, I can't listen to people's woe is me anymore. If you're gonna woe is me and be on YouTube, then take an effort to fucking do something about it. Get out of that fucking woe is me. I gave you options. I gave you a list of things to figure out. Like, break down what is wrong with you. And then go from there. It's as easy as that. And I know it's not easy, but once you're done, it's like AA. When you stop becoming an alcoholic, it's like, wow, that was easier than I thought it was. Yeah. And then you're going to realize it was easy. Like, think of this as an AA program when it comes to your emotions. It's not alcohol, it's not drugs. Trust me, I don't sleep at night either, whether I take drugs or not. I like there's some of the worst times I've had is me not taking drugs or drinking. I stayed up for 3 days just sober, like a month of not drinking, and then like it's all of a sudden 3 days I'm just a wide awake, like hi, like a meth head. I don't know why. It's because these mental emotions are digging through my head. But we all need to start digging through those things and then separate ourselves. Communication barriers, that's another thing too. When especially when it comes to a workforce, and I would like to talk about that a little bit more with you guys, especially about why I wasn't live yesterday on Monday, because I was dealing with a lot of phone calls and then dealing with my bank and other things. Like I was dealing with a lot of things, and all those things went smoothly. I'm not saying that it went like it was a catastrophe, but what happened yesterday, for sure, really, really proved a point of what I'm trying to do right now, and it's gonna sound so fucking stupid. Yeah, to be a bum. I'm gonna take advantage of a situation and I'm gonna tough that out and then get a proper living accommodations for myself and then get a proper education for myself where I can work without swinging a hammer ever again and really take advantage of a situation where anyone else besides me that doesn't have brown skin or is an aboriginal would have full access to. And yes, it's going to take time. And yes, it really sucks where I am right now. But to be able to have a place of my own and a proper education paid for by the federal government, I'm going to take advantage of that. Because otherwise, I'd be sitting there stuck in student loans for the rest of my life. Yeah, like just anyone like play poker. Oh no, I no, you're like B. You're like my buddy B. It's like, hey, let's go play poker. Poker, yeah. No, he's blackjack though. I don't know how people play blackjack. That's the thing. Oh, and then DJ, this thing. If anyone's ever told you to do this, don't do that. That's a weird therapy thing that they do to you. Don't do that. That's a marker that they put on you. Don't do this. They they tell you this is going to help you. That doesn't help you. That's a marker. I've watched so many people. I'll see them when they get frustrated. They start doing this and then you know that they're talking to a therapist. That's messed up. Don't ever do that. Don't 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 put physical attributes to your emotions. Don't give yourself ticks. That's another thing. Because putting those emotions deep sided down into you is going to give you emotional ticks. Like, when somebody like really pisses me off, I don't know what it is about me, but I go like this. I don't know what it is. I just go like this. But some of the therapists, like, when you're getting really like frustrated with things, start doing things like this. No, don't do that. Because now you're just focusing, putting that energy into this when you're not realizing the emotional issue that it's causing right now. And then now you just look like a crazy person. And now you just made yourself a marker by doing this. I've seen people do this. We're like, hey, yeah, are you in therapy? Yeah, how did you know? It's like, because you're doing this and that's not helping you. That's just a band aid. 100%, Greg. 100%. Fuck Greg. I wish I was on StreamYard right now. You know what? Maybe tomorrow I'll do a StreamYard. It'll be 4 p.m. Central Time, but I'll probably go a little bit longer then. But Greg, totally. Yeah, fortune favors the bold. Whether you're rich or poor or not, it doesn't matter. Money doesn't mean anything. And some of the best people I've ever met were always broke in the first place. So, but I'm gonna end this now. I'll be back for. I can't believe I've already done this for an hour and a half. But I really hope I brought some perspectives to you guys here. Like, I know you probably see me as a figure here and like everything's good with me, blah, blah, blah. I put on a fake. This is not how I am in real life. Well, yeah, this is probably the most I am right now in real life, speaking my mind on all this bullshit. But you guys, stop looking into why you're no, stop being depressed and start thinking about why you're depressed, and then start breaking those things down. um, Even things like you're depressed, start eating ice cream. Okay, then stop eating ice cream. There we go. There's one step. Now we're working backwards. We're working from, now we had what your reaction was. So you go and eat ice cream. Okay, let's take all the ice cream out of your house. There we go. Now you're forced to deal with your problems instead of eating the ice cream. Wow. Did that just make sense to somebody right now? And sorry, I was never a sweets guy. I didn't put my emotions into food or anything. Obviously, with chicken arms. Yeah, I don't put my emotions into food. But like, that's a perfect example. Okay, you have something and you start putting your face into food. Okay, then get rid of the food. Now you have to put your emotions right there in front of you. And then if there's another object that comes in front of you that is stopping you from figuring out your emotions, then get rid of that object. So whether you have to get naked and go lie in a bed to figure out this emotion, then go do it. But there's a time and a place. Oh, that's pretty good wish, Greg. I wish I had only one wish, that everyone had their fantasy and wish they could have 100,000, yeah, individual wishes. Yeah, totally, Greg. But that's never gonna happen. But I understand. That's like something I'd write in kindergarten. When they said if you could have a wish for the rest of your life. It's like, I wish everyone could have 1,000 wishes and then everyone could be happy. But that's never going to happen. There's always a good and balance between good and evil. Light and darkness. Light can't exist without darkness. Yes, the light is more on one side of the earth than the other, blah, blah, blah. But light can exist without darkness. And that's just the way it is. It's a balance, it's yin and yang. Like, I've done enough acid, and when it comes to taking acid and I've come to that point of what is life about, it's light and darkness. Light and darkness. 6 7, 6 7, 6 7. But yeah, light and darkness. The reason that there can be no peace is because for us to be able to survive on the planet that we know of right now, is there is the balance between light and darkness. It's 50-50. It's not 51-49 or 49-51. It's a complete balance. And it'd be interesting to see what happens when we do come to our end and realize like that we're gone. Is there a light and darkness, or is there still going to be some 50-50 bond Like people say when you go to heaven, it's like, oh, everything is perfect. Well, everything can't be perfect. Like it just doesn't make sense. Yeah, Jesus will grant your wishes. Yeah, I've been through all the biblical stuff. The only thing I haven't read is the Quran, though. But I'm not going to discredit Jesus or any other god or anything like that. But my hypothesis is with the good and evil, with what I've seen in the world, there's 2 points: good, evil, light, darkness. I have two sides to choose from. I could put all my energy into, you know, well, we've been talking about this, Kate. There's Jesus, and Jesus always talks about a false God. So, what if we are our own gods? Think about this. Sorry, just hypothesis. So, don't believe in false gods. Okay, well, technically, Jesus could be a false god. What if we put all that energy into ourselves, into the light side? Always be good, always be genuine, don't tell lies, or be that negative person who instincts lies and false narratives, the news, politics, like good, evil. I'd rather put my energy into me putting out good energy instead of believing in a false god. And I'm not discrediting Jesus or any other god, anything like that. This is what I'm saying. Think about this. I'm a person. I'm one being. Okay, if I put all this energy into a book, I put all this and what if I put all this energy into myself? Think positively. Think and get all that, take all that negativity and tell it to just fuck right off. And even if that negativity starting to get involved into your life, walk away. Walk away. Don't start an argument with negativity. Because if you start an argument with negativity, that negativity will win the argument. And then you're right back there at negativity. So the best thing to do when it comes to fighting with the devil, just walk away, don't listen. But put that energy towards yourself. But anyways, I'm out of here. Screenshot that. Thanks, Greg, for that. Okay, I'm out of here. Peace out, you guys. You guys have a great week, and I'll see you tomorrow.